Hello, beautiful soul. Welcome to Jinjin's Cosmic if you didn't happen to be here. Perhaps it's time to meet your soul.
In the year of world number 9 just passed, Aquarius walked like a traveler on a road of harvest and closure. It was a time when they had to face inevitable endings. Relationships that came to a halt, work that no longer fit, old dreams that needed to be released. Year 9 was never meant for beginnings, but for purification, for letting go of what had lost its value. For Aquarius, it was also a year of emotional trials. They felt loss at times, yet gradually understood that endings are a necessary step to create space for the new. Through all these closures, they learned courage, they learned acceptance, and most importantly, they learned to see life with a more complete and compassionate eye. And now, with year 9 receding into the past, the door of world year number 10 opens, carrying a different message. What is done is done. Now prepare for the beginning. Year 10 marks the very first step into a new 9-year cycle, a season where Aquarius can sow fresh seeds after a time of harvest and release. If year 9 was the season of endings, year 10 is the season of planting. This is the moment not only to dream, but to act, not only to reflect, but to begin. And Aquarius, born with creativity and a thirst for difference, is the pioneering soul ready to embrace this breath of renewal. One door closes, another door opens. As the world year number 10 begins, the new cycle of number 1 after the closing of a 9-year journey, Aquarius stands like a traveler at the threshold of time. Ahead lies a door never before opened. Behind, a road etched with countless experiences. For a brief moment, they pause, glance back at the past, then gently press forward toward the future. Behind them stretch 9 years of trials, sometimes hesitant, sometimes bold, moments of falling and moments of rising with pride. None of it is a burden now. It has become their luggage. Those memories, whether radiant or shadowed, are carried in the invisible backpack of the soul, reminders that they have lived, strived, and learned. Stepping into year 10, the universe's message is clear. It is time to begin again, time to plant a new seed. But this is not the naive beginning of someone untouched by life. It is the start of one who has endured enough upheaval to know that every new path requires courage. Aquarius, ever the one who dares to think differently, who asks questions where others stay silent, who sketches visions no one else dares to believe. When they stand at the edge of a new cycle, they don't just see one straight road. They see countless diverging paths, each one a possibility, a life script, an unwritten story. In that moment, a question stirs in their heart, soft yet profound. Which path shall we choose? It is not only for themselves, but a call echoing toward those who have walked with them and those yet to come. For the path of Aquarius has never been solely personal. It is always tied to the collective, to the community, to the dream of a better world. Many may see them as eccentric, detached from reality, but within Aquarius, every step, however unconventional, is connected to something greater than themselves. Perhaps what makes this moment so special is the simplicity of the answer. Sometimes, after all the weighing, calculating, and struggling, the right path is simply the one that still makes the heart tremble. Not the road praised by the crowd, nor the safest route. It is the path where Aquarius feels the flame within still burns, still urges, still has strength to guide. In numerology, number 1 is the symbol of beginnings, of pioneers, of the decisive, hungry to explore. Entering year 10, that energy intensifies as if the universe is whispering. Be reborn, return to yourself, begin again as the pioneer you are meant to be. For Aquarius, this is deeply resonant. Ruled by Uranus, the planet of breakthroughs and innovation, they are naturally ready for what has never been attempted. But this time, the challenge lies not only in creativity, it lies in choosing and committing. For every new beginning demands a price. To step forward, they must sometimes let go of what is familiar. An old relationship, a worn-out habit, a worldview that no longer serves. Letting go is always painful, but Aquarius understands that clinging to the old will never carry them far. The universe does not ask them to carry everything, only to be brave enough to set down what has already fulfilled its purpose. Someone once said, "When one door closes, another opens," but too often we stare so long at the closed door that we miss what waits ahead. That is the first lesson of the world year number 10. Do not mourn the past too long, for all of it was only preparing you for something greater. Aquarius is now given the chance to step through this new doorway with a lighter, bolder, more creative heart. So, which path will Aquarius choose? No one but they can answer. But one thing is certain, whichever road they take, if the heart still feels its tremor, that is the right path. For that trembling is the heartbeat of the soul, the signal of the universe, the compass, guiding them toward true meaning in this new journey. The free soul and the challenge of choice. Freedom has always been the very breath of Aquarius. They grow up with an unshakable desire to follow their own rhythm, to think, act, and live as their heart dictates. To them, freedom is not merely the absence of restrictions. It is the ability to hear the call of their inner voice and to remain true to their own choices. Yet, as the world year number 10 arrives, freedom is no longer just an abstract ideal or a fleeting sensation. It becomes a responsibility, a call to step into decisions that will shape the next 9-year cycle. For every new beginning comes with a challenge, and this challenge does not arise from the outside, but from within. To hold on to the familiar or to bravely step into uncharted territory. Aquarius may find comfort in what they know, safe spaces where no one questions or doubts them. But the heart of a free soul can never remain at ease for long within repetition. It is in these moments that the winds of year 10 arrive, whispering. Every true beginning requires the courage to leave the harbor. Aquarius is often labeled eccentric. They think where others remain silent, they step forward where others stop. But this so-called eccentricity is, in truth, a key unlocking doors to possibilities unseen. While the majority choose safety, Aquarius dares to move beyond fear to seek new horizons. When asked, why be different? Why not take the easier path? Their answer is often gentle but resolute. Because that is not my path. At the dawn of this new cycle, Aquarius may feel confused. Before them are not one but many crossroads, each carrying a vision, a promise, a test. Such confusion is natural, for even a free soul may tremble before the vastness of the unknown. Yet, amidst the hesitation, they will realize a simple truth. Life does not ask for perfection or certainty. It only asks that they begin. A sincere beginning, however small, carries more power than 100 unfulfilled promises. A single step forward can ignite the spark of an entire journey. This is the core lesson of World Year 10 for Aquarius. Do not delay. Do not wait until everything is flawless. Move as long as your heart still trembles with feeling. In quiet moments, they may hear the universe's whisper. Choose and then walk. Not to please others, not to prove themselves, but to remain loyal to their soul. And once the choice is made, the path will reveal itself step by step, like solid ground appearing beneath the traveler's feet only when they dare to take the first step. In the astrological tapestry, Aquarius carries the energy of the pioneer and the reformer. They live not only for themselves, but for the collective, for ideals of fairness and freedom. That is why each decision they make in year 10 does more than shape their personal path. It radiates outward, touching those around them. They are living proof that true freedom does not lie in doing whatever one wishes, but in choosing what must be done to open the door to a new future. And so, standing at the threshold of World Year 10, Aquarius understands. The greatest challenge is not the harshness of the world outside, but the courage to be honest with themselves. Freedom is no longer a dream. It is a responsibility to live faithfully to their choices. And in every decision, great or small, they continue to hear the universe's familiar whisper. Choose and then walk, the infinite energy of creation. When the door of beginnings swings open, an endless current of creativity bursts forth within Aquarius, like a waterfall long dammed up, now roaring free after a heavy storm. If the past 9 years were a time of learning, of gathering experience, and of enduring trials, then World Year number 10 is the moment when all of it converges into a new reservoir of power. This creativity is no longer just fleeting thoughts in their mind, but begins to take form, tangible, testable, ready to be planted into the soil of reality to someday sprout. This is the year when the strangest of ideas, the ones no one seems to understand, have the chance to become seeds of great change. For Aquarius has never walked the beaten path. They don't seek instant approval, nor do they care whether everyone can keep up. They know that true creation often begins in skepticism, in the doubtful gaze of the crowd. But in time, it is precisely these ideas that shape the future. A new invention, a different approach, an untraveled road, all begin with the moment an Aquarian whispers to themselves, "This is worth trying." In year 10, Aquarius's creativity is not confined to work or art. It can show up in the way they see relationships, their role in the family, or even how they understand themselves. A simple conversation can spark a profound connection. Replacing an old habit with a new choice is also an act of creation. For creation is not the privilege of artists or inventors. It is the birthright of every soul, the right to recreate, to rewrite, to renew oneself with every single day of living. During this time, Aquarius often feels called to write, to draw, to record, to shape ideas into something concrete. A small notebook becomes fertile soil for the next 9 years. In the quiet, they hear an inner voice whisper, "Write down 10 seeds you want to plant." They need not be grand or perfect, only honest dreams. Those 10 seeds will rest, waiting for time, patience, and light until each begins to sprout. Most important of all, Aquarius understands that creativity cannot be born from rigid control or fear of failure. It only flourishes when they allow themselves the freedom to try, to fail, to begin again. Every step forward, no matter how small, is part of the creative act. An unfinished painting, a half-formed business idea, a relationship still in its tender beginnings, all hold equal value, for they are proof that the seeds have been sown. At times, they may feel alone in this journey. Others will ask, "Is this practical? Does anyone even care?" And Aquarius may answer with nothing more than a quiet smile, because they know creation is not about pleasing, but about igniting. It is not about satisfying everyone, but about awakening something deeper within, the faith that we always carry the power to renew ourselves. World year number 10 opens for Aquarius the chance to rewrite the story of their life, not with old lines, but with new colors, fresh materials, and shapes unseen before. Every action, every choice, every idea becomes part of this current of creation, laying the foundation for the next 9 years. And at the end of the day, when they look back, they will realize nothing in creation is too small. A single word can inspire. A simple gesture can redirect the course of a life. And so, Aquarius enters world year number 10 not only as a dreamer, but as a sower of seeds for the future. These seeds may not sprout right away, but they rest quietly in the soil, waiting for the right moment, the right light, the patience of their keeper. And one day they will rise into a forest of creation, nourishing not only the life of Aquarius, but also the lives of every soul who happens to walk along their path. Darkness and light, the journey of healing. A beginning has never been a path paved only with light. In world year number 10, as the new door opens, Aquarius must also learn how to walk through the shadows. There will be times they feel lonely, adrift even on the very road they themselves have chosen. There will be times they are misunderstood, when their ideas are dismissed as fanciful or eccentric. There will be moments they rebel for no clear reason, simply because they refuse to follow the crowd, unwilling to melt into a stream that feels too familiar. And in those fragile moments, a sigh-like question rises from within. Will anyone ever truly understand me? Yet it is in these very moments of uncertainty that Aquarius's power of healing is forged. They learn to let intellect light the way for emotion, choosing not to drown in sadness or isolation, but to turn these states into raw material for creation. Loneliness, if embraced, becomes fertile ground for intuition and imagination. A quiet pause in the soul can be the soil from which the very first seed of an idea emerges. For Aquarius, healing does not come from avoiding the dark, but from facing it and transforming it. They do not deny that there are times when they are weak, lost, or aching. But instead of letting those feelings destroy them, they choose to let them nourish the light. Like a seed that must break through its hard, dark shell to reach the sky, so too must the human spirit go through hardship to uncover its true strength. Sometimes the darkness comes in long, sleepless nights, when the world is silent and only the echoes of thought remain. Sometimes it comes in the feeling of being left behind, while the rest of the world seems to march in a single direction. But it is within that darkness that Aquarius learns to listen more deeply, to discern the true voice of the soul from the background noise of fear. Healing is never easy, but it brings a kind of growth that no light alone can provide. By walking through the dark, they realize solitude is not always a punishment, but sometimes a rite of passage into a stronger version of themselves. In the silence of aloneness, Aquarius discovers that they don't need to be understood by everyone, only to be steadfast enough within themselves to keep moving forward. And in time, light arrives as its own reward. Looking outward, Aquarius also comes to see that darkness is not only a personal trial, it is part of the shared human journey. No community has ever avoided crisis. No society has ever grown without upheaval. When Aquarius dares to face their own shadows, they also learn to empathize more deeply with the shadows of others. In this way, their gift of healing extends beyond themselves, radiating into the collective. In year number 10, what matters is not avoiding the dark, but learning to use it. A painful story can become a lesson for another. A failure can become the foundation for innovation. An emptiness in the soul can become space for imagination to take flight. It is precisely this weaving of darkness and light that gives Aquarius their true power. The power of one who understands that healing does not come from denial, but from acceptance and transformation. And when the darkness passes, they do not emerge as the same person, but as a new version of themselves, deeper, more resilient, and more compassionate. They know how to look at their wounds without fear, how to turn their cracks into doorways for light to pour through. And from that place, they become a living mirror for others, proof that a beginning has never been made of light alone, but that it is the dance of both darkness and light that makes a human being whole, becoming the guiding light. Having walked through the dance of darkness and light, Aquarius emerges from the journey with a new spirit. Once only a seeker, now they step into the role of a guide. The world year number 10 does not only grant them the chance for a personal beginning, it entrusts them with a greater mission, to become a light of inspiration for the collective. Once again, the wheel of time reminds them that renewal is never just for one soul alone. It is a fire that spreads, a light meant to be shared so all may walk farther together. In this new role, Aquarius no longer focuses solely on their own path. They recognize that their sharp intuition, humanitarian heart, and gift for connection are treasures never meant to be hoarded. Every idea they voice, every action they take carries a deeper message. Endings exist so that beginnings may unfold, and beginnings exist to serve something greater. They realize the true value of freedom is not in living apart, but in using that freedom to create good for the whole. When Aquarius becomes a guiding light, they do not need grand stages or glittering titles. Often, their leadership shines quietly, in a single conversation, in their unwavering defense of what is right, or in their courage to offer a fresh perspective when everyone else is trapped in outdated patterns. At first, others may not understand. Yet in time, they will recognize that it was Aquarius's very difference that lit a spark of new belief within them. This role as guide is also a profound lesson for Aquarius. They must learn to balance their powerful creative individuality with the humility to listen to the collective. Enlightenment is not always welcomed instantly. Often it is met with resistance or doubt. But with the calm forged through past trials, Aquarius knows true light does not need to prove itself right away. It only needs to persist, to shine steadily, until the day arrives when other souls find their way to it and recognize its worth. Looking back, Aquarius will see that transformation has not only happened within them, but has rippled outward. An idea they once shared, an action they once took, a phrase they once spoke, any of these could have become seeds planted in someone else's mind. And those seeds in their own time will sprout, grow, and create changes beyond what anyone could have imagined. Aquarius understands now that true service does not require noise. It requires sincerity and endurance. The most beautiful revelation is this: the very difference that once made Aquarius feel isolated is in fact the gift they were meant to bring to the world. Not to separate them from others, but to offer a perspective no one else could. They stand as living proof that difference is not a barrier but a doorway to creativity, to progress, to renewal. And so, at the close of the first chapter of World Year 10, Aquarius stands, not as a solitary wanderer, but as a steady flame, a small yet enduring light that helps others cross the night toward dawn. They understand that beginnings are never only for self-assertion, but to awaken trust in those still searching in the dark. With every step, they whisper a quiet message: dare to be different, dare to begin, because only then can the world change. Thus, Aquarius's story in World Year number 10 concludes with a gentle but powerful truth. Beginnings are not meant for walking alone, but for opening a wider path together. Their light does not only illuminate their own way, but shines forward for the community. And when that light is shared, the journey of humanity itself moves forward. Looking back, World Year number 9 gave Aquarius, and all of us, its lessons about closure. We were forced to let go, to endure loss, to release what no longer belonged to us. It was a year of trials, but also a year that taught us to see more clearly what truly matters. And now, stepping into World Year number 10, a new door opens. It is not a repeat of the old, but a rebirth after a complete journey. Year 10 is more than just a number. It is a reminder that every ending leads to a new beginning, and every beginning carries within it a mission to serve a brighter future. For Aquarius, this journey holds even deeper meaning. They are not only transforming themselves, but becoming a guiding light for the community. Yet in truth, this message is not only for Aquarius. It is for all of us, as fellow travelers stepping into a new cycle of the world. We may have faced loss and hardship, but it was all in preparation for this moment. The moment to plant seeds for the next 9 years ahead. So ask yourself, what seed will you plant for this new journey? A dream, a plan, a desire, or simply a quiet faith in yourself? Whatever your answer, if it comes from the heart, it can become the seed that transforms your entire life. Leave a comment below to affirm your journey. I am ready to plant seeds for the next 9-year cycle.